All right. Day 54, I think. Probably. Not sure. Day 54, let's just call it that. If not, day 53, day 55, I don't know. Anyways, what are we up to today? So last few days, I've been, half productive working on Emily, but also just like catching up on personal chores. And, I had a little bit of an off day yesterday. I spent some time obviously playing chess, but I ended up, mostly just focusing on just chilling. And I think generally speaking, it's, part of a broader theme of I'm in a constant battle internally where, on one hand, I do want to be healthy. I want to be flexible. I want to be, physically fit, generally speaking. And that's something I want. I feel that that's important for my longevity, and ultimately because I want to be there for my kids more than anything else, and to be able to keep up with them at the end of the day. Of course, I don't have kids, but generally speaking, everything that I do in life, whether it be building a business right now, trying to make something meaningful, or and ultimately have an economic output, an economic benefit accordingly, and prioritizing my physical health. A lot of this stuff is really for my current and future family. Anyways, so where was I getting at with that? Uh, I have these priorities. I really do. Look, I want to be better at chess. I want to play chess into my old ages, keep my mind sharp, and have something to do, and always improve at something. I want. That's something that I've always, or I do want without a doubt. And my logic there is like consistency is key. Consistency is what's going to get me better over time, with both fitness and chess, and really anything else for that matter. And I'm accordingly, like, I tell myself that I really should be prioritizing these things consistently and doing them daily. Uh, but then at the same time, my default who I am, like, and what I'm capable of is honestly like I'm kind of a grinder at the end of the day. Like, if I don't force myself to do those things, I will happily code or work on Emily literally 12 to 16 hours a day for weeks on end. And I struggle a lot with balance, generally speaking, because when I tend to re-involve or involve, habits of fitness and chess, for example, I feel that it deducts from the amount of time and effort that I spend on work more than just the time and effort that it should actually take, if that makes sense. Like it bleeds, it dilutes my focus. My energy is sort of I find it hard to balance my energy, generally speaking. Like, here, like some extreme examples for just to highlight what I mean. In high school, actually, maybe we don't talk about high school. High school, let's just say high school was a little bit wild, and I didn't necessarily focus on academics too much. But then in university, it was quite the exact opposite. I completely flipped upside down. I got straight A's, like nearly 100%, or I got 100% actually in a few classes, 99 in others, and it was just like I was dialed in. I did party, I did exercise every once in a while, but it wasn't the primary focus in life. It was definitely school. And so, anyways, that's kind of like some extreme examples. I guess there was one time in I was coding, and I use Waka Time, which tracks your like IDE time, like when you're actually typing. And I pulled, I think it was 119-hour week. And if you do that, if you do the calculation there, so 119 divided by 7, roughly 17 hours per day. So I was waking up every single day. I was coding up until I went to bed, getting roughly 6 hours of sleep every day, and then doing it again the next day. Like, not, I think I was ordering Uber Eats. I was just coding. I was just grinding. And I think throughout this period in my life where I was just coding, like I'm pretty sure like 119 was the tip of it, but from what I recollect, I think that I was hitting like 100-hour weeks pretty frequently, and that's just like, and I was just that was for like a couple months on end, and it's not because I didn't have any external pressure to do that. I was at Amazon at the time, and there was no deadlines that were forcing me to do that. There was no external entity, manager, senior engineer like breathing down my neck. Nothing. It was just intrinsic. Like I loved the craft. I loved producing. I loved coding and solving problems and building systems and architecting things that didn't exist. And anyways, so we have like this, and then okay, here's another example of like just extreme behavior. I I went from not running at all to like the first year that I ended up running. I ran 2,500 kilometers or something around there, and I think I pulled, or no, I didn't even think. Yeah, no, I did. I pulled. I ran a half marathon with I think an average pace of 4:31 per kilometer, I think it was. I can't remember. I should probably know this. Should know my like top half marathon time. I just remember it was a half marathon time that was like way beyond what I should have been capable of. And it was all just because I mean, of course, I built up to it for sure, but I think it does come to just that grindy mindset where when I want to do something, I just do it. But the thing is I have these blinders, and it's pretty extreme. Whenever I get obsessed with like anything, it's pretty extreme by default, and I want to spend my entirety of my life on that one thing. And so yeah, recently since I started building Emily, I've tried to achieve more balance because now I don't have a job. I don't have anyone else telling me what to do. It's all just me. And so there's really no excuses left in the book. It's just like what I choose to do now is a representation of what I find important. I find that in general, like my perspective here is what you spend your time on is a direct reflection of your priorities at the end of the day. But and actually no, I think I do believe in that. But the thing is that there's nuance. There's nuance to that because at the same time, I don't know if this necessarily applies for everyone, but I do believe that there is a certain aspect to that which is sort of intrinsic, or it's just sort of who you are as a person, what you're capable of, what you are naturally inclined to do. Because there are times where I'll be coding or working, and I just forget about like life. Like I'll go through and I won't even drink water. I won't even eat food for like a whole day just because I'm just like grinding. Um, and that sort of same dive deep functionality actually when I started building Emily, unfortunately it wasn't actually captured on stream because when I was building Emily, I had that mindset actually for a bit. I did pull I think some 100-hour weeks here and there getting Emily off the ground. But then after Emily was stood up, I was like, okay, hold on. This is probably not sustainable. I should probably get health back into my life, pick up a hobby and oh my gosh, my girlfriend said, gonna try surfing, wish me luck. She said, update, I fell immediately. Um, yeah, she's quite an astonishing human being. She's wildly clumsy and impressively clumsy, but I wouldn't even say fearless. I would almost just say because it's not that fear even enters her mind in the first place. She just does things. Like she's just willing to do things. Like she doesn't give a damn. It's quite impressive. It's impressive trait in general. Um, anyways, where I was going with all of this? Yeah, balance is something I find I struggle with. And I guess that's just kind of a maybe that was the entire point of this ramble. I'm not entirely sure. It's just the last 3 days, for example, it's like I tried to take personal days and I ended up like working half of it. Um, and as well, it's like I got back into my rhythm of like fitness over the last week, and I found that that sort of made it more challenging for me to sort of dive into EMLY as much as I probably should be. Or, but then again, the probably should be is even, it's, if you think about that, it means that I have a predisposition to thinking, like the word should, it means that to a degree I feel guilty, which is, I guess, true. Because, and I think this brings back to what I was starting with, is that there's these two modes, there's these two types of human. Like there's on one end of the spectrum, there's like the Elon Musk, which is like borderline, exactly what I was doing, or what I was saying I was doing before, working like 119-hour week, like that's absurd. Uh, like literally coding for 119 tracked hours. Like that's batshit crazy, right? But then you have another end of the spectrum, which I actually don't know the name. It's some name that I can't remember his name, but the Spotify founder, or sorry, the CEO of Spotify, is one of the Spotify founders, is like kind of like famously known for like really solid work-life balance. So you have like the spectrum, and then you have people like, they're somewhere in the middle. I think Steve Jobs is probably closer to the Elon Musk, not maybe as crazy as Elon Musk is, but he did take walks quite frequently, so he's sort of somewhere there. Then you have Bill Gates, for example. Bill Gates was famously a grinder as well, but then he took like the week or two off every year to do like sort of think weeks or whatever, the famous think weeks of Bill Gates. And then I think nowadays he more actually takes the perspective of, oh, I just realized I forgot to send a prompt here. Hold on. Yeah, okay. He more takes the perspective of like, maybe I shouldn't have gone that hard. Maybe I should have just chilled out a little bit more. Um, and then Mark Zuckerberg, he does MMA, and like he likes like fitness challenges more generally speaking. Nowadays, I'm not really entirely sure what he was like when he was a bit younger. Um, Warren Buffett's maybe not the best example because he's not really a founder per se. Well, I guess he is, but he's more of just a genius. He's more of a quiet genius. He didn't even work really. He didn't really work really at all. Or I mean, he does, but he was more of a thinker than sort of a doer. Okay, that's an overstatement. You get what I'm trying to say, though. Generally speaking, like according to my understanding, he thought a lot, and he sort of like he made few good decisions deliberately. Like he wanted to get things right and high leverage decisions and direction, which is admirable in its own way. Anyways, you have this spectrum, and I think that what I'm struggling with is that I'm not saying that I'm not trying to compare myself to any of these. Obviously, like that's not what I'm getting at. They're all phenomenal, and they can all be looked up to in various ways. Uh, but I think that I struggle to place myself on the spectrum because on one hand, I know the importance of healthy body, healthy mind, and taking a step away from work and some of my best thinking actually is when I'm running. I think I come up with a lot of good ideas just when I'm running, and it allows my mind to go free, especially when I'm listening to podcasts or listening to books when I'm running, which is nearly every time. And it sparks thought to the point that I literally will pause the book or podcast, and I'll just think. And so yeah, like it's like I know all of this stuff, and the fact that I really love chess, it's like that's it's not something I want to just completely ignore for the sake of building a company. But at the same time, in order to be successful, it's like in order to be truly successful, in quotation marks, success to me here means building a company that actually produces real value to the world, and even if it ends up being realtors, like a, a software product that realtors love and want to use and make their lives easier. And then of course, economic aside from that, but even if not economic, like even if I brutally fail here, I will have walked out with, oh my gosh, so much learning already. A lot of things that I won't ramble off here, but yeah, I've learned already quite a lot from this experience thus far. I'd say if I walked away today, I'd be happy. But anyways, yeah, it's there's no right answer here, obviously, because a right answer would ultimately mean it would group everybody into being the same person, which is that's not true. People have different needs, different personalities, different perspectives, different upbringings, different religions. I mean, heck, you know, people are people, and that's okay. This wide range is just the nature of things. And then there's also actually people that I can't remember the name. I think it was the founder of not AMD, maybe it was AMD or HP. Some company that falls into that category. Then again, HP and AMD are vastly different companies, but I don't know. I have this idea in my head where like they're not necessarily like the big tech companies, but they're sort of like off brand, not off brand. Oh my gosh, okay, I'm just gonna shut my mouth. Anyways, the founder of whoever I'm thinking of, like he worked in sprints where he would like be like Elon Musk for like 2 weeks, for example. He'd just be like heads down. It was like work hard, party hard. And I think to a degree, through university, actually, I took that perspective, or that was not perspective that I have, but that's just the way I lived, really. I would grind extremely hard. I would wake up, go to the gym, go to school, study until I went to bed, smoke weed before bed every night, and then repeat the same thing over again. And I would just do that, and I just churn that out. And then as soon as like an exam or exams are over, as soon as there was like an opportunity where like I felt like it was a good time to let loose, like there was a party or an event, like I would, I would, I would not. I would not hold back. I would not have just, a beer and come back at 10 p.m. No, 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 no. I would, stay up all night and be back at 9 a.m. or something absurd. I'm definitely in general a work hard, play hard personality. So I think my default is very binary. It's very, like I've been saying, it's very hard for me to achieve balance. Why am I even explaining this on a stream? I mean, this is more of like a self-reflection. I guess this is just like a building in public, what the things are going through my mind are. Whether this is helpful or not, probably not. Maybe someone can relate to me out there, but maybe not. Yeah, but I think about it often. I think, and then also I have a. Actually, give me a second here. Hmm. Hmm. Sorry, just hold on. Hmm. Yeah, so I was talking to Claude actually about this the other day, and I found it quite interesting because I didn't really have like any way to like put a pin on it or let's say qualify it in any way. Not that qualification is actually important, but I think in understanding your oneself and it is of course, and it's something I've always known about myself, but I found it interesting here. I apparently have a very strong emotional object constancy. Is sort of uh, what Claude was saying, and it's the capacity to hold a stable, intact emotional bond with someone even when they're absent, out of contact, or temporarily a source of frustration. The relationship stays real to you without needing to be refreshed by their presence. Blah 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 blah. I guess that's kind of about it. So that was one thing. Oh, and then also we were talking about like the fact I have an abstract or structural cognitive style. I run reality against internal models and trust a representation over live sensory input, which is the same machinery behind. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, I actually don't know how this is relevant to what I've been discussing here. I can't remember exactly why I went on to this. I think that potentially what I was about to say here is that like the actually give me a sec. what I was gonna say there is having strong emotional object constancy. Basically, the idea that generally speaking, like I could meet up with a friend from high school tomorrow, and the way that my mind is wired is I would immediately interact with that friend under the assumption that the relationship that we had in high school remained unchanged until meeting up with them tomorrow. And high school, I mean, like, I don't even know how long ago that was. Like 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years? I actually don't know. Something around there. Wow, almost 10. Oh my gosh. Anyways, point is that distance or time does not fade relationships in my head. It's just people are just people and the relationship stays the same. And I think with that also, I mean, it's actually, I have such a strong emotional object constancy that it's actually harmful to relationships because on average people don't have that, and it means that I need to like reach out to people proactively to reassure them that I'm thinking of them when by default I wouldn't actually do that. I'm doing it because I care about them and I know that that's important to them, but not necessarily because it's important to me. I can think about, so actually it happens all the time. I will think about people that I care about in my life on a daily basis. Like they'll cross my head and I'll be like, smiling, just maybe I'll take a look at Apple Maps. I have a lot of, or not Apple Maps, pardon me, but like to find my friends. I have like a lot of friends uh that like we share back and forth locations, and like I'll just take a look like, oh, like what are you up to right now, and sort of just be happy that they're doing their thing or whatever. I just kind of observe from afar and I'm just like super super happy for them and just like stoked they're living their life. They're in my mind. They're not absent, but I don't feel the need to reach out per se to maintain a bond that doesn't actually deter over time for me. Whereas a lot people, yeah, that's not a common thought, and I understand that it's not a common thought, nor would I expect it to be. But it's definitely a weird thing about my personality or who I am. I mean, I say weird not in a bad way, just weird as like it seems like it's an uncommon trait. I know that some people share that. Like I met like some of my strongest friends actually have that same trait. Which now that I'm thinking about it, maybe that's no coincidence. Because the folks that don't share that trait, I don't end up maintaining as strong of a bond with because it's requires a lot of upkeep, which I may not be meeting that bar that they would like to see. And they perceive that as distance, which deters relationships typically, but for me it does not. Yeah, anyways, okay. Sorry, what I was getting at there is that what that allows me to do is it allows me to get in that grind set mindset, and even more so than it would maybe generally because I can just like I can hop in and I don't think about anything. I mean, people will come into my mind, but it's like I don't feel the urge to reach out because it's just I love them all the same, even without. Okay, all right, ramble over. Crazy start to day 54 or day 55, whatever it is. So, what do we got on the agenda today after that very intense philosophical ramble about who I am and the way I think? I hope that little ramble doesn't come to bite me someday, or and that's actually another philosophical or not philosophical, but like sort of out of body question. Is like the fact I'm even questioning that, like hope it doesn't come back and bite me, and then I was going to then question like how is that going to be perceived in the public, uh, is sort of interesting as well because it means that I obviously am I don't know about insecurity. I guess so. It is insecure, right? Like the fact that I'm even questioning this. Okay, all right, sorry. Stop being. I gotta stop going. I gotta stop. I gotta stop. Day 54. Day 54. So what do we got in the agenda for today? We have a chess game as per usual. We're gonna play two chess games if I win the first, because then I'm up to 1100 or sorry 1200, pardon me. So I will break that 1200 threshold, which will be super great. And after that, I'm gonna work on the funding deck, which I did not do as much yesterday that I should have. Okay, but before I jump into that, I'm actually gonna just quickly review the high-low Prism schema and I think types that Codex ended up whipping up for this new campaigns change that I'm looking to exclude enough running. Ooh, reached is an interesting one. I wonder how they're calculating reached. It's okay. It's not like a design concern per se. Well, interesting. We're actually replacing the original. The original campaign contact. Workflow admission lease. Oh, yeah. It's fine. It's for concurrency. We talked about that already. Okay. That was actually generally fine. Yeah, do I need to take a look at how these came together? Should be okay. Campaign workflow exit criteria. Inbound callback received. Okay, the only thing is like inbound callback received. I'm curious of how that was modeled. I really am, because that seems like when's the end period for that, right? A bit of an odd one. Opt-out detected. Whoa. Ugh. It's really frustrating, actually. I've told them a million times to not do the opt-out. Because that's a separate thing that I want to design separately, and this keeps on happening. Okay, we're gonna do this again. We're gonna do this once again. I'm gonna design this once again. I'm gonna run this again back to back here. Okay. Okay, one thing that I want to push back on, and I want you to also revise when you do all these changes, is the automatic opt-out stuff. Opting out is very, like, the only way that people opt in and opt out is only through the user on our front end clicking the actual, like, mark consented button. That is it. That already exists. We are not changing that. That is the only functionality. I do not want you, so I want you to remove all opt-out functionality that you implemented that is like sort of automatic opt-out and all that stuff, because that is a completely separate concern that I did not ask you to deal with. So please resolve that and remove anything that you did as a part of all the other fixes that you're doing. The reason being is that opt-out, like, it keeps on trying to do this automatically when, like, no, like, that's like it's an actual thing that needs to be scoped out and done well and properly, and that's on the agenda. It's just hasn't happened yet. It's just a manual thing as of right now. Okay. All right. Contract legacy campaign schema. What? Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, good. It's all actually looking good. I don't think that was enough for me to just redo this from scratch. It all looks generally fine. Yep. All right. Cool. um. Okay. I guess let's play a chess game then, shall we? My stream deck is not working. My stream deck actually has been freezing lately. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it's completely frozen. But it's only the small stream deck, which is annoying. It's not the big one. Big one's actually been completely fine. The small one has been, and it's really annoying because I can't like unplug the small one easily from the actual device itself. It's plugged into my computer, and like I can't reach it at all. It's not gonna happen. All right, 15-10. Let's rock. We're gonna win 2 in a row today, and we're gonna get to 1200. That's the goal. Let's do it. All right, we're against someone quite literally our exact rating. We're at 1187, 11 versus 1183. So we win 8 points or lose 8 points. Let's jump into it, shall we? Okay, so we have an Indian game on the board. Okay, we're looking like most likely. All right, so knight's out. So I either go here or here. Now, Queen's Indian, I think, is typically it's called the anti-Nimzo-Indian variation. That's hilarious. Queen's Indian is typically this, I believe, but I'm gonna play this because I'm obsessed with this idea, which I'm hoping to be able to play. But probably they won't let me play that. Okay, now here they're thinking about what the heck does this knight mean? Is he trying to do some trick? When I'm really not. Okay, so there it is. So basically the move is delayed even further. So I'm gonna go here, preparing this and this. And also still allowing this, assuming the knight comes out. Now if the knight doesn't come out, then I'm definitely and we've transposed. You know, it's just so wonderful. It's so wonderful. Now, if this, I actually win a pawn, which would not be a good move. So I'm hoping that queen comes out either there, or here. Okay, good. So this is very, very classic stuff here. I got two options. Bishop's blocked in. Good. And I think I shall play the pawn. Pawn seems reasonable. Now probably do this, and then I will follow with this. And then if he does this, then holy, we're just in a really crazy main line. Okay, so we will trade here, no problems. Either take back. Okay, now we're all good. I'm gonna now do this. Like everything is predictable right now. Everything is following. After we transpose into the Nimzo-Indian, we're really solid. I mean, this is mainline stuff at this point. Great, so we're good, right? If he takes, I take back with the bishop. I could also take back with the pawn. That's fine too. I will castle here, and then yeah, we're all gold. So he castles, and basically I lift this or I go here. Either one is fine. Um, yeah, I think I'll just lift this, and then yeah, I'll go here. Or here. But everything's looking really good so far. This is super solid. If he ever tries to do this, then ooh, actually he could do that right now. And because my bishop is, or sorry, because my this would actually be an opportune moment because I can't actually bring my queen out. I might have, hold on, I might be able to do this, for example, and then if takes, interesting. Um, so what? Takes. Call it a day. Then I actually win a pawn there, so that seems a little bit odd. That seems actually like an odd move. I win a pawn after that exchange. I guess the idea maybe is, well, it definitely disrupts my structure, which I'm not obviously stoked about, but it's like, generally speaking, if he pushes, then I do this. If he pushes here, I guess I could take back with this. If he takes here, then I take back with this and probably open up my rook. I'm actually not too concerned about that move. If he pushes here, then I take. If he comes here, I guess I maybe, I don't know what I do if he does that. If he does this, like, am I concerned about that move per se? No, I think I might continue with this. Um, yeah, I don't like. I'm not. If he, let's say he does continue with this move, taking here is probably the best move though. That's the thing. And he can't take here, so in theory, I guess I could just plop right back. It opens up this for his rook though, and he could do this, for example. But then I have this for like this kind of saves the diagonal. He can push. I could come back maybe, or I could just kind of come here in general. Um, It also, like, if after this I actually can take here if I really wanted to. I really like my knight though. I really do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's either I do this or I take. Like, does he want me to take? Now, let's say he takes back, or let's say he doesn't take back. Like, what then? I don't. He doesn't really have anything, right? Like, he doesn't have any crazy stuff going on. I mean, he could do this, I guess. Actually, okay. Um, okay, that's actually the first like reasonable thought here. Accordingly, I think I am going to do this. I don't like this. I don't like that at all. So yeah, forcing him to take, I keep my defenses here slightly. If he pushes, now we've already discussed this. If he pushes here, I will probably take back with the bishop actually. And if he pushes here, I just come back maybe here, which means that he actually can't push anymore. This pawn is gone, and we're actually okay. Yeah, I think generally speaking, I'm fine right now. I'm not too concerned. Uh, I will. I think according to Engine, I think this probably would have been a best move. Take, 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 and then this, and then if he threatens this, I mean, I am defending. Actually, I'm defending. Defending period. He can't really easily attack my knight at all. I'm on a dark square. Okay, so there it is. So which one do I take back with? Is a good question. This seems principled. I mean, taking towards the center. I control just I mean I have a better position here. And then I open up this rook, which also seems pretty reasonable, of like a pretty good choice to me. So I'll do that. My concern here is like what's his idea? What is I don't understand his plan, which maybe it's because he doesn't understand his own plan. I'm actually not entirely sure. Wow. Okay. So what was the pawn I just took? Oh, I see. It was the double pawn. And now he's what, trying to do this again? Damn. Okay. Yeah. All right. I mean, maybe I just do this. Doesn't seem that bad. It makes room for my knight, which I wanted to bring out eventually anyways. And if this, then actually hold on. If he pushes, then takes, takes, takes. I still am okay. It's definitely a weaker pawn structure than I would love. This pawn pushing is I know it's not bad. I know it's not good though. According to my understanding at least. I don't think that it's actually the best moves. I could ignore it and just uh, play here, and then I could go here maybe, which might be kind of crazy, taking advantage of the pin. Um, or I mean, this knight actually, if soon as I go, as soon if I end up with my queen here, this knight is completely undefended, meaning that I could do something wild like go here, which followed by takes or takes doesn't matter. I take here, and then this pin doesn't allow him to take back. I'm threatening mate, so he has to push most likely, and then I could actually double up here and then go in for this if push. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay. I think I'm gonna do this and get my knight out. If he pushes, I don't know. I'm not entirely enthused about this. It seems like I'm just sort of giving him. Like, I feel like it's unnecessary for me to be defending against this right now. Like I almost think that I just kind of want to go in for the attack, but at the same time, it's hard. It's hard. I don't know. Maybe I don't. I don't know enough. Or not that I don't know enough. It's just I don't calculate deep enough. Maybe it's a positional understanding of the game. I'm still great here. If he pushes here, I still win this, so we're actually still okay. Um, I don't have any threats up until I get my queen out. The queen, though, leaves this pawn undefended, which is kind of a problem because then this, and then pawn here. Even if I do this, maybe I should try to take advantage of this pawn. No, it's double protected. Not really worth my time right now. I could do this right off the bat, then push. Takes. No, I don't like that. If this, yeah, that's probably what I would do. Actually, that sounds really nice to me. But okay. Um, So technically speaking, I'm pretty sure I win a pawn here, but then my queen is just glued to this pawn temporarily. I guess I could push it twice, but basically takes, takes, takes. If takes and he doesn't take back, well, let's say he pushes. I guess I take here, or I take. I actually don't even know. It doesn't really make sense. So take, take. This queen is now unlocked, and this bishop's here, still defended. He doesn't have en passant anymore. I could go here, kind of locking this position a little bit further, but then these two pawns become pretty weak. Though if my knight is here, this pawn's a bit better. This pawn is actually continuously defended by my knight until maybe he could take and sacrifice. But I think generally speaking, this actually seems okay for me. Then again, now that I'm like visualizing this move, I don't love the idea that this is now open. In fact, I don't love it at all. I almost think that might have been positionally worse than the pawn that I won through the exchange. Yeah, because now it opens up his rook, or sorry, pardon, his bishop, to just own this diagonal. I mean, of course, I can go here. Sure. I mean, I probably should go here. Or maybe I shouldn't, you know? Like, maybe I should just... Oh, I need to go there. Otherwise, I actually lose a pawn throughout all of the exchanges, and I can't really defend. I could go here, for example. I don't really love that, though. It seems like sort of a kind of copped out move. Yeah, but the problem here is that this, and then I'm just kind of screwed because then takes, and yeah, that's not great. I guess I could go here defending, but that I don't love that either, and I'm actually pinned completely, so I can't even retreat back into my little home. Maybe I actually play it slow. I just don't take the pawn, and I actually bring my knight. Or maybe I come here. No, queen is looking at this now. Maybe I en passant. That doesn't work. Oh, it does work. It does work ever so slightly. I could also offer this trade. I could also go here, which is rather interesting move. Huh. Very interesting move. Don't know how I feel about that. But I also don't love... So basically, I would need to go here to defend both the knight and the pawn. So takes. He can't really... I don't know, but then he threatens this, and I can't actually defend them both. Unless I come down, back. I actually... No, I can't. That whole combo, I need to... So I need another defender on here if I want to save the pawn. Otherwise, I'm down a pawn. So in theory, I could do this and then this, assuming that he does this. That seems just crazy, though. I can't do this because the knight protects. Can't do this because the knight protects. Can't really trade off the knight yet. I could go here, but then this pawn is completely open for grabs, and that would definitely be taken. Huh. Okay. I think this is actually the best move, but I really don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think the reason I don't like it is purely because it sort of locks this pawn here. Yeah. Yeah. It really does lock the pawn there, no, doesn't it? In fact, so much so that I can't even use it for a defense. Yeah, okay, so there it is. So like I said, I think I I honestly think I should do this. Because if this, then check. Oh, actually, that's not that bad. I take back. These two pawns are doubled, however, at that point, which is not terrific. I could try to trade off right now, but then I actually lose this. Do I? Yeah, I do, because of check. So, wait, how did I... Oh, yeah, this was my response. This was the idea. I could also go back so that basically this trade results in me... I could go here, come back here. Not really. I don't like that too much, though. Let's play this out. If I did do this, or if let's say I did this. Now, takes. Yeah, I don't really love the idea of this pawn. This pawn is just so unbelievably weak for the rest of the game. This move, let's say I play this move. He can play this move, and then I can play this move, which actually pins this. Not really, though, because he has check here. So I would need to take. But then could he pin the rook? He can, in fact, pin the rook by doing this, for example. But, oh, I also have this square protected, so I'm actually okay. I think this is seemingly fine for me. In all, yeah, it seems good. It seems fine. If take, I will take back. If he does this, I will either go here or here, yet to be decided. If I go here, it actually removes the oh no, wow, that's kind of an interesting one. And actually, okay, so we trade. We trade, and we're sort of just okay. Now, this pin exists, and I acknowledge, okay, so, or this pin. But hold on, I acknowledged that pin before, and I wasn't ultra concerned. I mean, I could do this, of course, but is that the only way I can actually defend it? I actually think it is. It's the only way. It's the only move I have. Huh. Okay. So, wow. That is quite literally the only move I have to defend the damn rook. Oh, I could do this. Okay, that's an option. Which one do I hate more? I hate them both. This blocks in my queen. I'm gonna go. If I do this, what's his next move? Can't do this. Could do that. Huh. Shit, hey? Let's say he does this, for example, targeting the pawn. What if I just ignore him completely? My knight's still strong. And now I have this, which actually seems pretty nice. As well as this, I have this, for example, which targets the queen. Yeah, okay, well, we've already discussed this is quite literally my only move. Well, I guess I have this, but I'm pretty certain I don't like it as much. Now, if this, then I don't know. I think my priority right now is probably getting my queen. I don't know if I like either of these squares. I really don't, in fact, like either of the squares. So there it is. That was the move. So if I do this, then he takes, and I really got no follow-up. I can go here, but I don't like that really either. I could do this, and then this, potentially. I could do this, this, and then this. Oh, I can't even do this anymore because of the atrocity, or whatever English language is. Do this, adding another defender to the pawn, and then allowing me to go here. Also defends this once more. I could just bring this out of pin, which would allow me to do this, which is actually kind of nice. That does seem kind of nice. I could kick the queen. Kicking the queen's actually not a bad move, maybe. Kicking the queen actually all the way back, I could do that in theory. Oh no, I couldn't do this. Oh, I could because this defends. Huh, I could do that. But then this, for example. No, then no, you can't do that. He could do this, though. No, he can't. Oh, you know what? I actually kind of like this. I got 4 minutes on the clock, though. Okay, so I'm up a pawn. Positionally, I feel like I don't know if we're okay. So basically, I mean, this kind of limits his options. He kind of. I mean, okay. I think I'm just gonna do this. To be honest. Oh shit! I can't do that. I can't push it twice. Why did I think that that was possible? Um, I at this point maybe it is actually. You know what? I'm gonna play exactly how I plan on playing. It's just gonna take me 2 moves instead of one. Okay, wow. So now I actually am forced to play this move. Um, yeah, I actually need to play that move. I don't have any other choice. But then he takes. Um, damn. I actually think I lost the rook. I lost the rook because I just lost a defender there, and I have no way of defending it in one move. Damn. Wow. Okay. That was good. Well done. Well done, my friend. I could go here, counterattacking the knight, I guess. Maybe I could go here, blocking this, forcing this, and then coming here. Again, not really too thrilled about it. I I I could have done this, but I can't. I can't really do this. I mean, let's say I do this, hypothetically. Then takes, or takes. Check. Threatening the pawn as well. Oh my god, I think I'm at a dead loss here. I don't think there's any way I can come back from this. Huh. Do I block the queen, just let him take the rook, and just be like, yep, that's a wrap? I mean, I really don't love this, but I don't really see how I have any other option. If I do this, maybe like maybe I can uh hmm, I do this, then this takes okay, so I don't lose a rook in this position. Oh, I do still lose a rook because it's actually unoffended right now. So what if this, then this? Still the same damn thing. I'm in the same position. So there's no way for me to even reduce my loss here. Oh my gosh. This was such a bad move. It hurts me. Okay, let's just pray. I guess I'm losing a rook. There's really nothing else to it. He'll take here, and then I'm gonna take back, and then he is going to take with the queen, and then that's check. I have to go into the corner, and then he'll probably just try to trade off the whole game, and he'll probably take here. He threatens the knight. What? He didn't take with check? I guess the idea is that he really wants this square, and he wants to check here, I guess. But I don't think that was actually the best move. Huh. Okay, so I actually only lose a knight in this then. Well, I mean, of course, I think he has a winning game though. Okay, so these are not actually. I have 2 moves here. This seems fine, but well, no, it does not seem fine. It seems terrible. Um, so what does he have here? Nothing too crazy. I think I'll try to bring my knight into the game. These are defend, or this is not defended. Or it is, yeah. No, we're okay here. Probably try to do this, but then I have this. There it is. I could probably block. Yeah, this seems pretty good. Fuck. Okay. Well, damn. Yeah, that was all right. So I guess it's only one game today, and that was a horrible loss. Yeah, wow. Okay, so time management was a concern. So I started speeding up and not really thinking too much about my moves. But all right, let's whoa, what is? You can send a reward now. Okay, it's kind of weird. Ah. Okay, let's freaking export this. How do I export this game? I don't want, no. I don't even want to see it. I don't even want to see it. Hold on. I'm not looking at analysis. I want share. Share game. Eyes are averted. Why is it not sharing? Okay, cool. Damn, that was rough. But, you know, it's okay. It's okay. All right, Lichess analysis. Paste it in. Analysis is off, and let's walk through it. Shall we? Okay, let's flip the board. All right. So I'm pretty certain it was how I handled the pawns in the beginning, and I know that there was one comment I made during the game, which I wasn't a fan of already. Can we add like notes directly in? I wish there was like a review tool where like the fact that I have to do this like manually is kind of annoying, right? Like like why is there not a tool that I can just go to? Like this is like a if chess.com and Lichess weren't such dominant tools, like it would be a good startup idea. Like it's like a very clear gap in the market where like I have to go. So first of all, the reason I go into Lichess to analyze my games is because you literally cannot analyze your games in chess.com as far as I've been able to tell with like just basically no analysis, which seems absurd. But with this on the side of the board, which seems crazy to me, but apparently that's just I don't know. I tried it for a while and I just simply could not. I could not do it. I guess I could go here. No, but then oh yeah, okay. But no, yeah, see it still shows you the blunders and stuff here. So there's no way. And then explore, I don't want explore because this shows you everything. Like and even if you go to analysis, you could turn on the strength to nothing, I guess. But no, it doesn't work. Interface, analysis, review. Like I'd have to change this every time. It's really annoying. I could copy and paste it maybe into an analysis board potentially. Actually, hold on. Let me try that. Let me see if we can do this. I feel like I did this already though, to be honest. I'll try it again. Why did I do this? Oh, unpin. Duplicate. Oh my gosh, pin. No. Duplicate. All right, let's go into like Explorer, Row Chess, Soil Chess, Vision, Collections. Okay, no. Train. Analysis, I guess. Paste it here. God damn. Okay, paste it here. And then start analysis. But no, see, we're in the same UI. It's like same problem. I literally cannot. I mean, if I turn off analysis here, I still like it still shows you the blunders and stuff. Like, there's no way of turning that off. Show threats review board. Yeah, this is absurd. Move. Okay. Yeah, move strength coloring. Key moves are all moves. Like what? All right. Yeah. Anyway, we're going back to Lichess because I mean, even if it is possible, not easily findable. So I'm done. I don't want to spend the time on that right now. Okay, so all of this seems fine. I mean, we transposed into a position I'm aware of. This is all good. Taking here is fine. This is fine. Up until this position, everything was okay. Yeah, right here, everything's good here. Okay, so first move that really matters out of the opening, or that maybe potentially deviated out of the opening, and then I said was this move here. I'm gonna see. I really wish I had like a notepad or something. Like, see, I want like a review. Maybe I should just build this. Heck, even isn't Lichess like open source? Like maybe I should just build like a simple. No, I shouldn't. I really should not build anything that's not EMLY. But it's like I really want like just a simple game, a simple thing where I can have like a notepad on the side that just allows me to like quickly check or quickly write down the moves that I would have played. Anyways, okay. So we're gonna open up this, and I know that you, or I guess you can see this. Okay. So let's, wait, what happened? Go all the way back. And wait, why do we have analysis on now? Oh my god, I'm actually going to lose my mind here. Analysis should be off. Go back to the beginning. Flip the board again. Whoa, what's crack? Flip the board. Okay, it's 10:43. I gotta leave it like 2. Gosh, okay. All right. So as you said, all of this was fine. Now, first move out of the gate was this rook move up. Okay, so immediately with this rook, rook to f, what is it, f6, I was afraid of this move because rook to f6, knight to d2, knight to d2, rook to h6, knight takes, queen to h. Yeah, okay, no, it's fine. Because queen h4 threatens mate, so it's an in-between move. He has to push the pawn, which gives me the other defender that I needed. And then I can take back with the bishop after that. And then takes... bishop takes e4, pawn takes, queen can't take because queen protects. Then I have a knight, or I have a rook and a queen there. Okay, I think I'm actually fine with this. I'm fine with this move. Okay, moving on. All right, so this is where things started to go, I think, I mean, maybe not downhill from right here, but this is where I started to improvise, and I didn't know what I was doing. So what I didn't like about this, so I ignored it, I believe. Yeah, I did. And honestly, I think I stand by that. I think I do. I think I stand by that. I could have potentially played this. But, yeah. I could have even played this. Followed by this. Actually, also okay. So his next move was takes. I took here, which I think I stand by that. That still makes sense. Okay, now this move. How did I respond to this? So I responded to this with I think d6. 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 And then he ended up pushing. Oh my gosh, he ended up pushing d5. Takes. Opened up that diagonal for his bishop, which I did not like. But I didn't see any other way. Yeah, I think I was preparing for for c5. And he played d5. So d5, or I played d6, d5, and then let's go to that position. I think, well, actually no, let's stay here. So we have d5, d5 or d6, d5, then takes, and I considered just not taking back because it would have let the bishop just chill. But the thing is, I couldn't bring my queen out, which was a problem, and he had too many attackers on my knight. So wait, takes. No, I could have brought. Oh no, I couldn't have brought the bishop, or sorry, the rook to a4 because queen actually protects a4. And I couldn't. Okay, in theory, I could have pushed the pawn, pushed d. I could have pushed d5 right now to protect the rook. No, hold on. Or protect the knight. I didn't have any opportunity to trade off. I could have pinned the pawn and moved bishop to a6. But that doesn't really... It's not really a pin. I mean, it's just a trade. But it's a trade that's slightly better than I think what transpired. Now, I pushed the pawn, whereas I could have ignored it. I could have ignored everything, and I did consider queen to f6. Queen f6 here. Queen f6, d5. Queen f6, d5. What if I just left it again? Queen g6. Takes on e6. Takes. So we have a pawn on f6, a pawn on f5, pawn on e6, no pawn, open file on the open d file. Bishop's still there. My bishop's still protected. Though, hold on, as soon as he pushes the d6, d5 pawn, I don't have the number of I don't have the number of defenders that I need on that knight, which is the same problem I had prior, which is why I sort of would have needed to take. But let's assume that I did not push the d6. So let's say that the queen is on f6. Queen is up. So let's say right here I went queen f6. Queen f6 d5. Queen f6 d5. Takes. Queen f6 d5 takes. Pawn is now undefended. What if I push the pawn twice? But then he has a wide open place for his No, I don't think I like that. What if I pushed d5 right now? Takes. I block in my bishop, but my knight is safe. I don't expose that diagonal. His pawn can't push forward anymore. Huh. Wait. Hold on. If I push d5 right now, what if he pushed... Then he pushed c5, which is the move I was expecting. c5... I could just leave it. Because he can't push anymore. Because I actually control that square. If he takes, I take. I have a pawn sitting nicely on top of my bishop. He does have a wide open file. But I'm generally not that worse. I'm not that bad. I think... Okay, now that I've thought about it a bit, I think I'm going to start moving the pieces. Let's say that I... Whoa. That's a move I did play, and that's not the move I like. So let's say I did d5. Now, if he takes, I can take back with a bishop. I'm a happy man. This is everything I could have wanted. There's no threat to my bishop. There's no threat to my knight. That just doesn't make any sense. So he would not do that. Let's say he pushes. Now I control this square with my knight and my bishop, so he actually can't push any further, and he can't push his pawn to protect any further either. So he would need to add more defense. Maybe he does this. Now, if he does that, what's good for me is that this diagonal is still blocked, which is good, which is nice. Very nice, actually. What if I just... Let's say he pushes. What if I just ignore it? What if I just go here and I have defenders? He can't really push it out. I mean, he can take, and then I could go here, and I can't rotate out with my knight though, so maybe I actually take with the rook. Yeah, taking with the rook seems kind of gross too, though. The only problem with this is it does block in my bishop for the rest of the game, which sucks. So I would want to actually trade it off. So this is actually a decent idea. And then because the only reason I would even do this is if he pushed, meaning that this actually has only one defender, meaning that if I go here, which actually opens up this move and this move, in theory, let's say I go here, he trades, or no, let's say, pardon, no. So the only move I would be concerned of, let's say I do, my next move is, I ignore it. Let's say my next move is this. Now, only move I would be afraid of is this, actually. Now, because it prepares this. But I still don't, oh, shit. I'm now realizing, for obvious reasons, that that this is a concern. So, oh, okay, he can't do that if I actually did this. Okay, so that's not an option. So he actually, then this move is completely done. I mean, he can't, if I did move this, say I pushed, no, sorry, pardon, say I pushed to d5 here, and my biggest fear would be this. Now, if takes, I take, and we've already discussed this is completely fine for me. So my biggest fear would be if he pushes. And then I just respond here, which allows me to go here. It also takes control of this diagonal. And eventually I can do this. So let's say he does something. Let's say he does this. Now, okay, that's maybe actually a decent move, but regardless, I will try to trade off this bishop, because if he trades off the bishop, I mean, I got a bad bishop. The bishop has no hope on this diagonal. It does, but it's unlikely unless he somehow sacrifices a piece or he tries to trade this, which he probably wouldn't. Actually, I guess he would. He would try to trade it. Okay, I mean, sure, but still, I don't think it's really a good spot for my bishop. So it's not a great bishop. Now, I'm thinking if I took here, now, okay, this only has one defender, so that's already a threat. It's already something I could threaten. At this point, yeah, I don't know, just like the overall game structure at this point, like I think I'm already like liking this a lot better. I can resume my attack at some point. I have flexibility to go here, for example, or even here, put more pressure on this. The overall, it seems like a good game. I could rotate this way. That actually seems really quite nice. If he takes here, take, we're all good. It does open up this for his queen, but I think generally speaking, this is fine. Okay, so that I actually do think that this is generally an option. It does force me to trade off a bad bishop, but I think that it's probably better than any alternative. Like let's say I actually stuck with this, and he played this move. Maybe it's just my response that was really bad. Maybe my issue was my response. Now, in this position, this knight or this pawn is hanging, technically speaking, because basically takes, and then takes, right? And I can't really defend it in any way. We've already discussed this. There's no way for me to defend it. And so the only real way for me to defend it is actually to take here or to move the knight entirely, which, okay, moving the knight entirely is an option. I could, in theory, do this, followed by takes. Now, if he doesn't take, but then again, my bishop just is kind of locked anyways in this variation, so it doesn't seem to make much sense. Takes. Okay, so here I made a choice. I made a choice to take, with the idea that basically if I went here to defend with my queen, it doesn't actually defend, because this runs into takes. Oh wait, it does defend. Why did I think it didn't defend originally? Wait, what? For some reason I thought that he thought he had one more piece here, thinking that I would have needed to take here, which actually leaves this alone. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is actually much better. I think this is much better. Well, I guess I wouldn't do that. That wouldn't make any sense. But I could go here. No, that would incentivize this. I wouldn't like that. Well, then again, actually, either one of these squares is kind of dead for him for a while. This is protected. I can rotate this way. Or I could rotate. No, I can't rotate there. This is a protected square. I can actually now take this, right? So that protects this. I could drop this back afterwards. In fact, I could drop it here, which is an interesting spot just to sit here and be protected by my knight and just not move my knight. But then it actually locks in my rook. Okay, I actually I don't mind that either. I think that what are these two moves? Oh, these are like the two variations I see. I mean, so taking, this is where we ended up actually in the real game, and I think that my response here, I shouldn't have taken this. I think I should have went here. And then honestly, a lot of my worries just would have been gone. If he goes here to, let's say, add another attacker, then it's just losing a knight, so that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Let's say that he does... Oh, wait, hold on. Does he have enough attackers to still... No, he doesn't. He doesn't, right? Yeah, no, we're good. Yeah, overall, I think this is a good spot to be in. If he trades, and if he does this, and he's just sort of stuck there. In fact, like, yeah, no, I think I can add another attacker to this if I wanted to. Okay. I'll be right back. Oh. Okay. Anyways, I don't mind my response, or like the queen here. I actually think I might even prefer it over the variation where I actually pushed it twice here. I don't mind this move. Let's think about one more though. Let's think about c5. c5, c5, cx c5, or sorry, dx c5, bx c5. No, I don't like that as much. No. No, I think preparing my knight to move there makes more sense. Okay. I think that this was the downfall. I think the way that I handled all these pawn exchanges was the downfall in my position, specifically because I let the bishop go here, which I realized immediately after, which unfortunately was a bit too late now, wasn't it? So, okay. Yeah, why did I take here? I considered that. I considered the queen move, and I some reason like I thought I remember calculating the game thinking that for some reason I had like he had some combination of moves which I had to move the queen which forfeited this, but he didn't. He didn't. I could have just taken back with a pawn. I thought that I think I had to take back with the queen for some reason. I did not need to take back with the queen. That was just not a necessary thing. I could have just taken back with the pawn and just had a good life. Yeah, this seems like a really solid position for me. I don't see why I did that. Yeah, this is ridiculous. I mean, now he's just sort of stuck. He can come here, of course, but then I can take here, or I just don't even take there. I just leave it. I just leave it until at some point later in the game, or I trade this bishop off, which would have needed to happen in either of my d5 or d6 positions here. Okay, so we've concluded that I think a pawn move probably was the best, because let's say here, say I went here as a response. Now this, yeah, no, I don't think I like this as much. Well, let's see. Actually, it's not that bad. Takes, take. I go here. But then he has this, so maybe not. No, this is already actually not that great because I leave this behind. And that was, oh yeah, that was the reason I didn't want to leave the queen. Move the queen. So let's do this again. Let's say I don't take. Let's say I ignore it. Let's say I go here. Okay. So let's say he takes. Now, well, he wouldn't probably, because this still locks all its pieces in. And this actually has enough defenders as well, so this actually doesn't seem very good for him. So maybe the queen move wasn't that bad, but let's say the queen paired with something like this. Well, actually, I think I'm okay with that. Maybe I just do this. Takes, sort of a lonely pawn. Does allow this, actually, which I don't love. But then I could do this, which is actually quite clever, I think, at least. Queen move's not that bad either, actually. I don't think I hate this either as much as the result. But then again, like, maybe I'm missing something. All right, I'm going to lock my answers down to, I think let's go back. So, yeah, here. So on move 13, I think that I'm going to stick with my d6 move. I'm going to go with d6 or queen f6. So let's write that down. Let's say move 13, either d6 or queen to queen f6. And then basically if, actually I'll just say the line. So we have d6, and then followed by what he did, which was d5, d6, d5, ex d5, ex d5, d5, ex d5, ex d5, and then I just don't take back. So we have this, and I just don't take back. I just let it chill. Either trade off or I just continue my development. This is actually under attack. Oh wait, no, I decided I was going to do this, right? Because I need another defender here, and so yeah, let's just do this. So we have cxt5, and then we have queen e7, and yeah, that's kind of about it. Now the queen f6, I think I'll just keep that as a possibility here, but yeah. Okay. This generally makes sense. All right, let's go back to the real game. Let's see what actually happened. Let's find more faults. So we have what we have, right? Okay, well, even this move. So this is the move that I absolutely despise, right? So this is the move where we definitely wanted the... Okay, so I guess I'll write this down. Or I guess this is kind of part of this line already, so we're fine. Okay, so here... What did I play here? Ah, yes. I played this. Now, I could have played this. I didn't really like the pawns, that's why. All right, so I'm going to stick with my move here. I actually don't think I don't mind this, so this is all good. But it did cause me trouble with this pin. It did end up causing me trouble, but I think I'm generally fine with this. So if this. Now, my real issue was actually mostly about letting this chill for too long. So he did this. I thought it was just a regular development move, but more importantly, it opened up this rook. Actually, no, maybe not. He already had this rook open, so it just put a lot more pressure here. Okay, now, what was my next move here? Kicking out the king, queen. Okay, you know what? I think I stand by this one too. Yeah, I don't think it's that bad. I think it was the move that came after. Yeah. Actually, I don't know. Could I have even saved it even now? Oh, yes, I could have. I could have by doing this, followed by this, followed by this. Huh. Or, crazy thought, moving the moving the king here. Then I'm free. Then I'm just free to do whatever I want. Now, if this I take and we're fine. I mean, we're obviously not fine, but it's not that bad. Okay, so let's come back here then. Let's visualize this before we move even any piece. So, queen comes back. So I'll stick with on move 19, pushing the pawn. Move 20 is where we really fell apart here. So move 20, we have I pushed. So wait, after this, I pushed c5. We've concluded terrible decision. Now we have h8, king to h8. Rook to rook a1 to b, rook a1 to d1, hitting the rook. Now I could trade rooks, or I could slide over because my I'm actually protected by the knight. The pawn's actually protected by the knight and the queen. Or I could just develop. Wait, no. No, no, no. So I have queen, or sorry, I have kings moved. Now I can either take. I think taking actually might make the most sense. That rook is kind of awkward. But then again, my pawns are also kind of awkward. Not that bad, though, I guess. Okay, I'm going to take. Take rook. Rook takes. And now we have a rook staring at that pawn. Pinned. The queen is, or the pawn is pinned. So that that c5 square is pretty weak. And queen can't really easily rotate to f6 because of the bishop. I could prepare by going e8, queen to e8. King's in the corner of the board. Rook is prepared to come down. I don't have any major threats. I don't think. Queen's no longer pinned to the pawn. Generally fine. Yo. Okay, realistically, I want to keep analyzing this game. I think it's important to analyze more of my games in depth, but it has been, I've probably been playing chess for about an hour now, or playing chess less rambling about things that I shouldn't have been rambling about. So I think at this point, I should probably call it quits. Now, we already know this move was not a good move. I think this move would have been fine. I think that this move would have been fine as well. I think probably getting the queen out of pin would have been good, though it does make this very weak. But I think I'm generally fine with that. I could also do this. Wow, that seems kind of decent. I'm gonna go with a king move regardless. I'll just lock the king move down, and let's just quickly pop into the actual chess review. So we have move 20. I played this, which we later discovered was absolutely horrific. I cannot believe that. And I should have played king move most likely, or the knight here. So let's just write those down, and then we'll say move 20, either king or knight to c5. All right, let's look at the analysis board. Those are the two top ones that I think were absolute utter flaws, or utter issues. So I've decided that up until move 13, I was generally fine. So let's go, where are we at right now? 7. Okay, so move 10 I thought was fine. What's the best move here, though? Okay, let's actually do start review. Yeah, interesting. What was the best move? Best move of the pawn. Huh. Okay, it's relatively, I don't think that's typically very common, but, or maybe it is. Okay, so I also thought this was fine. I mean, what was this? This was moved. I mean, okay, it's an inaccuracy. I'm still not bad. I'm actually slightly better still here, so I'm okay with this. Okay, everything was good. Now move. This is now move 13. Oh no, I was still good with this. Okay, so then, ooh, interesting. Taking here was actually not the best move. Wow, I couldn't see. So what the hell? This was a mistake. Now, for obvious reasons, we understood how this ended up being a mistake, but I honestly thought that taking here was the best. We considered this, and then we just don't take after follow-up. So yeah, we now understand why this was definitely wrong. Yeah, this was a mistake. I mean, this went from negative 0.1 to +1, so I don't know why this is an inaccuracy. I'd call this a mistake. Yeah, this seems a little bit odd to me. So, well, let's go back to here. Why the heck was this? What was the best move here then? What? I just lose a pawn, did I not? But I'm better. I'm better here. I'm better here. Wow. Okay. Let's skip through a few moves here and just see what ends up occurring. So, yeah, I just want to follow like the best line. So I am down a pawn, but positionally I'm still actually stronger. I guess because I win a pawn right here probably. Or no, I don't even, but I still have this pawn I can win at any point. Okay, so I guess it's just like a lesson to, realize that, wow, not even here taking the pawn. Why? Why not just take the friggin' pawn, man? Damn. I guess it's just a lesson to learn that, like, positionally, sometimes the pawns just aren't worth it. And maybe you could win them back later on in the game because you're just so positionally dominant. Huh. Okay, good to know. So, if that ever happens again, just accept the fact that you lose a pawn. Let's say let's say I visualize that. Let's say I get my knight out. Okay, I mean, if he takes here, what do I do here? Probably just take back. No, I don't even. What's the best move? Oh, just moving the knight out. Okay, that makes sense. Oh yeah, because it also defends this knight too. Oh yeah, that makes total sense actually. Okay, so takes. Okay, this pawn is now pinned. What was the best move here? It's either this or this. I'm gonna go with this. Yeah. And queen has to move. Queen probably. Actually, what's the best move for the queen? Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Now, honestly, if I were in this position, I'd probably just take this. But I think let's see how bad this really is. It's good. Not the best though. Queen moving here is actually best move. Damn. All right. Well, okay. So we've learned that this wasn't even that bad. But even now, I mean, I took back with this. Let's see if this is a bit better. This is a mistake too. What the? Okay, reviewing games is kind of demoralizing. Oh my gosh. Forcing me to do this. Because otherwise I'll lose to this. Yeah, wow. I did not consider that. Yeah, holy. That's rough. I would probably take here, being honest. But then I run into the same situation. No, I probably wouldn't take here. No, I guess I go here. Okay, nice. At least it's not that bad, but I'm still losing brutally here. Just disgustingly terrible. Wow, and then, oh my gosh, knight can rotate here. Okay, it's actually an inaccuracy, but I still don't love the knight being there, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, it's an inaccuracy because of this. Basically this, then this, then this. Even with this, I can still take this. Well, you would need to rotate somewhere. Probably take here, I guess. Anyways. So what's the best move? Take. Wow. That's brilliant. Because sacrificing, what exactly? Because it wins this pawn? Yeah, damn. No, it doesn't actually. Hold on. What's his best move here? Take here. What if I just do this? Threaten this. He's still better, though. I'm going to go with knight out. It's an inaccuracy. NA6 was best. NA6. Oh, landing here. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Holy shit. All right, well, it's 11:20. I only have like what was this prompt? I don't remember what this prompt was, but I didn't send it. Oh, whoops. I want to just ignore that. Whoops. All right, yeah, let's work on the investor deck because I only have like I really don't have that long. Um, yeah, I gotta leave in like an hour and a half. Damn. Um, okay. I'm just gonna. Okay, let's, yep, investor deck, investor deck. Okay, so this one, the problem. I want to basically double down on a couple things here. So let's start a new Claude. Should probably just clean up some of these. I have like so many things on the go here. Keep it all. Okay, yeah, that's dealt with. This is also dealt with. This. Oh yeah, this was issues. Okay, I think I'll just use this one then. Claude seems fine. Actually, I'll probably clean up these ones too. Let's clean up these ones. Let's close this. And this one doesn't even have an active session, so I can't be using that. So let's close this too. Okay. Okay, so in this session, you're going to be acting as a founder of a startup trying to get funding in Canada. So everything that you do needs to be grounded from that perspective. Yeah, actually, I guess I'll just set the stage with that. You want to create your objective here is to create a visually appealing yet information driven investor deck that is going to be used for a pre-seed funding round of $500,000. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I guess that's about it. Let's just wait until Claude responds here. But then after this, so basically like, the only real thing I like, I want this slide. I like this slide, but I think that inbound and outbound data would be good here. Um, oh wait, hold on. Investor, isn't it? Sorry, maybe it's investor final. Oh shit, it is. It's investor final. Oh, okay, so we're already good, actually. That's hilarious. Okay, investor final. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hmm. Lead is forgotten by the time someone calls back. Okay, this is true. What? Come on, man. Okay. What is going on? Are you serious? Claude is actually down right now. Like, this is like the worst time to be down. Claude down. Serious. What? Operational? Uh, sure doesn't seem very operational to me, my friend. Yeah. Well, wait. Maybe we got something. I don't know. Okay, so generally I actually like this slide. I only have like nits on this slide. I'd like sort of brackets like this to be on every single data point. And if possible, I'd actually like to click on these, to be honest. Like I'd like them to be hyperlinks. It's more of a nit than anything else, though. So one missed listing per quarter pays EMLY for years. Source. Oh, I have the source. Okay, the sources are here. That's good. Okay, so I think team needs to move up like big time. Why? What's going on here, Claude? Like, come on. I need you to work right now, man. I have such little time to work today. Please, please don't fail me. I guess this is like one of those times where it's like, I guess I could just do it manually. But no, that's like, it's almost like ineffective use of time. Like I might as well, I like literally do anything else. Oh, I need to stretch today too. I need to stretch and electrocute my hands. Oh my gosh. This is gonna be rough. I don't think I'm gonna get much done today at all. In fact, I might just if Claude is done, if Claude is actually down right now, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pause right now, take some time. Let's refresh. See if yeah, okay, here we go. Uh, just Claude 4.8. So in theory, I could use Sonnet maybe. It's weird because I've subscribed to updates, but I don't get updates. I've done this already a couple times. Kind of odd. Anyways, oh, we have something now. So what I'm thinking is like we state the problem, we talk about how we're the team to solve the problem, or we talk about the product first. No, I think the team needs to come before we even have this stuff talked about. Uh, we could do the product and then the team and then the moat, potentially. Yeah, I think maybe the problem and then just going straight into the team, basically framing it like this is the problem, we're the perfect team to solve the problem. This is like and like almost giving like we could have like a background of like, this is how we all came together kind of thing. Um yeah, I think this makes sense. This seems like a bit of an overstated slide. Very slightly though. Um I think one more thing actually I want to say in the problem here is the cost of ISAs as well. Whoa. Okay, what's going on? Visual upgrade. What? No, no. Oh, I think you want to move the needle on. The deck is already. Hold on. Nigga, I was just setting the frame. I don't want you to do anything yet. Like, this is something that you and I are going to be working on together. I just want to let you know what we're about to accomplish. Okay, so generally I like the content of these slides. I think we're going to spawn a bunch of subagents to do things all at the same time. The problem that I really like this slide, but I really also want to talk about the price of ISAs and the fact that they're hard to understand and they're not like ISAs often aren't like, from Canada, for example. Okay, so first things first, I want you to spawn a subagent to hey, whoever popped into the stream. Hope you're doing well today. Anyways, okay, so first things first, we want the team to come directly after the problem, and I think the rest of it actually is fine. Product, moat, why now, signals. Team built a ship. This is the ask. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think this is generally. I'm actually pretty generally good with this. We don't need the one churn. We didn't actually technically have a churn, technically speaking, because like there wasn't any no paying customer has churned yet, which is a pretty strong statement to make. Actually, I think I'd like to put that on here. Yeah, no paying customer has churned. That's a pretty good thing to say. That's pretty nice. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I'm wondering if like costs. So we have marginal costs, fully loaded. Okay. Rev share, already producing customer acquisition cost. Kind of a confusing statement, slightly. Yeah, I think I generally actually am fine with like a lot of this. I think let's just change the order, and then it's just a matter of going through each slide and just like cleaning it up and like polishing it. Like I generally like what's here. I think forces converged. Okay, so we've got cost, we've got Canadian window. I'm almost thinking Canadian window. Why now? We have this vertical AI statement, Canadian window. Um, hmm. Canadian window. Do we want to own Canadian real estate? It's a really big question. Big question for the future of the company. Like I keep on thinking we double down on Canada, but then I also think maybe not. Oh, Marvin just posted in our alarms channel, said that all clear, no issues. Love to see that. Love to see that. Okay, back to this. To put the team slide right after the problem slide. And then I want another subagent to, or actually maybe even multiple subagents might be appropriate here. What I actually want is, so let's just do one slide at a time, I guess. So on the problem slide, let's first start with like the required thing. What I actually want is every single statement that we make in here, I want it to actually be like grounded in the source. Okay, I guess there already are grounded in the sources, but I'd actually prefer for like the sources at the bottom here. Could you just make them hyperlinks to the actual like source itself? Like so like you could like literally click on like you could click on the slide and it like open up that link in a new tab. Is that possible? If it is, actually it's definitely possible. So just go ahead and do that. Hmm. And then I actually want you to get a third subagent to, or like, sorry, another round of subagents to actually do. So we're going to create another problem slide. This problem slide is going to eventually be deleted. So it's just going to be, created temporarily just to store information until I figure out how I want to interweave it. But I want you to do research on the cost of ISAs and the cost of ISAs and the problems associated with ISAs extensively. In like how they're being used today and what the main complaints are, et cetera, et cetera. Because ISAs obviously exist and they're leveraged quite extensively within real estate, according to my understanding. But one of our customers, for example, is actually moving further away from ISAs and actually towards using EMLY because EMLY actually sounds more like they sound better. I mean, there's not like any language barrier. It's completely configurable to make sure that it's aligned with your business. The overall tone and vibe is exactly what you want it to be, and and everything just sort of works still quite well. So I guess like my point is that I think it'd be cool to spawn a swarm of subagents to actually do another round of research to see if we can actually talk about the problem also from like the existing solutions standpoint. Like what are the existing solutions that are out there today and what are the problems associated with those? Yeah, yeah, actually I think that that's good because I mean it is true that we now have uh two customers that have mentioned that. So one actually thing, speaking of customers, I want to check on something. Oh, I guess I just realized that my Git Kraken is not where it should be. So whenever I'm on this side of the screen, you get nothing. Okay. What was I in the middle of doing? Oh, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Huh. I actually have there's a few failed attempts, um, which is really weird. Yeah, actually, I gotta spawn some subagents to do this. I gotta do it in a separate tab or something over here though. Um, Okay, so these are a few automation attempts, and and yeah, look. So you have full ability to start the port forwarding for production and look into the prod database and understand and look into the prod logs as well as you know any other information. Like spawn like a swarm of subagents, like one to look in the database, one to look in the logs, or whatever you want to do. Just make sure that you're doing this swiftly. Point being is that understand why these are marked as failed and make a recommendation to either fix the code or if they're being marked as failed for a valid reason. Like for example, I think we mark IVRs as actually being failed. Uh, Maybe make a recommendation for how we can maybe display this in the front end so that it's not just looped into failed. I feel like failed is it seems like it's something went wrong when I'm not confident that something actually did go wrong. Now, of course, if it actually did go wrong, debug it and actually produce a fix in the current working branch. But if it's not actually an incorrect behavior, it's actually like correct. Then help me understand why, and then maybe propose a change in logic accordingly. Huh? Yeah, that's weird. Huh. Oh, I just looked at it. Actually, it does look like the reason they failed were for invalid destination. So if that's the case, could we also just include like I think it would be helpful to include like like a failure reason or something like that uh on the actual like dashboard so that the customer can understand why it failed, because right now it doesn't actually display like why it failed. And so maybe maybe we just put the disconnection reason or whatever the heck, wherever invalid destination came from, just put that like in brackets next to the failed. Okay, that's a terrible instruction. I'll just figure out exactly where it came from. Invalid destination is the end reason. I see. How's AI doing over here? What the hell? Just wanted to confirm something. The summaries, like the um, oh, actually, no, that's definitely the case. Never mind, we're good. Oh, actually, I want Claude to look into something for me. Let's split. We definitely don't need this to take up the whole damn thing. Could you look through the EMLY chat, like my iMessages on the EMLY chat, and around uh, when was Web Summit? Web Summit 2026, Vancouver. Around May 11th to May 14th, somewhere in there, I sent a link that was like a real estate, like it was something, it was a link that talked about like real estate phone conversion or something, and I made some comment about it. Could you find that link and send it or just put it in the chat? Circular site across blog, no locatable primary survey. Interesting. Huh. Oh my god. Yeah, okay. Bueno, sí, sí. Okay, could you commit just your changes? Uh, what's going on here? Oh yeah. Could you commit just your changes? Leave the investor changes behind. Don't link anything linear or anything like that. Just commit your changes and that's it.